Alex travelled a lot. He was away approximately 6 months of the year, on and off, with short breaks in between.
Not an easy thing coming home from being 6 weeks away and fitting in. I mean, your children always loved you, but they had a totally different regime to what I was used to, where I'd been living in hotels on my own and coping for myself, and everybody was sort of a team, and I really had to slot back into all of that and become a father.
About 6 years later, Alex was looking at starting our own business, and we just had started, and we found out that we were pregnant with our 4th child, who is Geneva. And it was a real shock to the system because we had decided that 3 was it for us.
I just wondered how we were going to cope with the 4th child coming along, and it was not an easy thing for me to accept.
I was of the opinion, well, I'm pregnant now, so I just accepted it, and there was no way I was going to do anything about it. I'd been raised in a Christian family, and so I knew enough, even though we weren't with God at that time, I knew enough to know that I didn't want to abort this baby.
I was in the birthing suite when Geneva was born. The midwife gave me the scissors and told me to cut the cord, and from that point we've been the greatest mates ever since.
One day I was checking the mail and I saw there was a flyer in our letterbox, and the flyer was advertising a sort of like a childcare, I guess, for mothers that wanted to do shopping at the supermarket across the road. It sort of had a setup like, I guess, like a seminar type of effect, but it had a set of drums on the stage. I thought, oh, what is this place? So this lady came out and greeted me, and I said to her, what is this place? And she said, oh, well, actually, it's a church.
During the week, I said to Yvonne, what's changed? And she said to me, I've been going to church. I just said, look, that's not a problem, just so long as I don't have to go. And I didn't, and that's where we left it.
I went up to my bedroom and I walked in the bedroom and shut the door behind me, and I just, with an indignant, I don't know, righteousness, said to God, you told me he was going to be a mighty man of God, prove it. That was my prayer, and I felt really guilty for praying like that.
Coming back to Geneva again, we had a batch up north, and her and I would be out fishing or cleaning fish. She would sit up on my shoulders in her nappies and would sing these hymns that she learnt. And one day I went to have the boat serviced, and I went to pick up the boat on a Friday afternoon, and normally I would stay and have a few beers with the guys that did that. And I got in the car and drove off, driving down the northwestern motorway, and took my hands off the wheel and said, Lord, my life is in your hands. So at that stage I had a revelation of God in my life, largely from being surrounded by my family, who by now had all gone back to church. I always worried about my kids. I hoped that they would never have to go through the things that I went through. I hoped that they would never have to see a lot of things that I saw in my earlier days of life. I hope that they never had to have the struggles.
When you feel like there's no hope left, when you feel like nothing you can do is going to change the perspective of what you're going through, when you feel like there's no hope anymore, just cry out to God. Just ask Him, and He'll answer you.